Let me share my screen now. So that is the question for August 2025. Question is question number August 2025 question number mhm. Question number 5B. So August 2025 question number 5B. The question reads that a milk production farm intends to undertake a research on a new type of feed which would increase the cow's productivity. The monthly revenue in 1,000 shillings will be represented by R equals to minus 5x squared plus 9x, where x is the monthly milk produced and sold in 1,000. Past records of the cow's production in the farm estimate its marginal cost in 1,000 shillings will be represented by the function of MC is equals to 2x minus 2. The fixed cost will be 2,000 per month. But remember, the equation is represented in 1,000. So let us solve this question. Let us solve the question. Let us solve the question together. Now let's start with part A. Part A says that we are supposed to determine where is it the total cost function. So part A, we are supposed to define the total cost function, but in the equation has been given marginal cost function. So total cost function number A. So this is QA. So hopefully it is visible. So hopefully it is visible. So total cost function is the first requirement. Number A, total cost function. Remember our function is in 1,000. Remember our function is in 1,000. So we have been given the margin of cost. The margin of cost is equal to 2x minus 2. Then we have been given the fixed cost of 2 because our figures is in 1,000. So 2,000 in 1,000 the fixed cost is 2,000 per month, but our equation is in 1,000. It will be 2. Now we are supposed to use that one to come up with the function. So let us come up with the function. So total cost is we are supposed to integrate the marginal cost function. So we are supposed to integrate the marginal cost function so that our total cost will be equal to 2x. So when we integrate, we are supposed to add power, then we divide the total power, 1 plus 1, minus 2, we add x, then plus c. Remember, our c is the cost function. Our c is the fixed cost. So I hope you know how to integrate, but we did it in our previous class. Over 2 minus 2x plus c. But I have said c, but c is fixed cost, which is 2 in our case. So meaning our total cost will be 2x squared over 2 minus 2x plus 2. Which is the same as saying x squared minus 2x plus 2. That is our first equation. So that is our first equation. I think that one is fine. Next, we need is to get the requirement number 2 of the question. Number 2, we are to determine the profit function. So the profit function, that will be equal to what? Now profit function is revenue minus. So when we say profit, number 2, we are supposed to come up with the profit function. That's number B. Profit function. So profit function is equal to total revenue minus total cost. So our total revenue, we have it. Total revenue in the equation. So we have the total revenue in the equation. Our total revenue is minus 5x squared minus 5x squared plus 9x. That is our revenue function. So if we have the revenue function, now we can get our this is the revenue, sorry, total revenue. Now we can get our profit. So our profit is equal to our revenue. That's 9x minus our total cost, which we have it here, x squared minus 2x plus 2. So we can say minus 5x squared plus 9x minus x squared plus 2x minus 2. So what will be our profit function? So we collect the right term together. So minus 5x squared minus 5x squared minus x squared or minus 6x squared, 9 plus 2, 11x minus 2. So that's our profit function. Number C, breakpoint, break-even point. We're supposed to come up with a break-even point. Now, break-even point is a point where total revenue and total cost are the same. So refers to the point where marginal revenue and marginal cost are the same, or the point where profit is zero. The point where profit is zero. So we can use either. So I will use the second one. So I'm going to use this one. The point where profit is zero. So this is our profit. Yeah. Minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 2 equals to 0. So let us find the value of x. Let us find the value of x. We can say, so let us go away with the negative figure. So 6x squared. So multiply every side by negative x minus 11x plus 2 is equals to 0. So let us find the value of x. Find the value of x. Find the value of x. Now, for you to get the value of x, we are going to use the quadratic formula. I hope you remember the quadratic formula. We did it in our first class. So x equals to minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And remember in our formula here, a is 6, b is minus 11, so a, b, and then c is 2. So we transfer those items there. So let's transfer. So x is equal to minus b. So minus b. So minus 11 minus 1, because we have a minus there, it equals 11. So minus and the minus will cancel out. 11 times 11 squared, that will be 121. Then 4 times a, which is 6, times 2. So 4 times a times c over 2a. 2 times a 6. It equals 11 plus or minus. So we say 121 minus 4 times 6 times 2. So 4 times 6 times 2, that is 73. Square root of the answer, 8.5. So 8.554 over 6 times 2, which is 12. So x will be, you have two numbers. So the first one is 11 plus 8.54 divided by 12. That is the first one. These are 1.62, or 11 minus 0.205. So it's a point where we break even. So for us to break even, we need to pick, we produce the minimum units. So we have 1.62 or 1620 units, because it was in thousand. And then we have to have another x, 0.205 or 2050. Now, so it's supposed to be times 1,000. 1, 2, this is supposed to be 16,200 units. Now, for us to break even, we produce the second one in Kidogo, 2050 units. So we just produce 2050 units for us to break even. So we pick the smaller item. Next are supposed to be profit maximization output. Profit maximization output. That is number C. So number D. Profit maximization output. Profit maximization output. And in this case, we find the first derivative to change in profit function or change in x, which must be equal to 0. That will be the first derivative. So that's the first derivative. Remember our profit is our profit in the upper. Our profit was 6x squared minus 11x plus 2. So we find the first derivative to change in profit over change in x. So itakuwa 6 times 2. Tunachukua this one multiply with the power. So 6 times 2 is 12. Then you reduce the power by 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1 minus 11. That's the first derivative. The first derivative must be equal to 0 for profit maximization. Let us see. So 12x is equal to 11. X will be equal to 11 over 12 or 11 divided by 12, which is 0.92 or 9,920 units. The 920 units. Part E is about Part E. Where is Part E? Price that should be charged. So that is the last part. Price to be charged. Price to be charged. Price to be charged. So remember, total revenue is equal to price times quantity. In our case, this price times x. So x is our quantity in our case. Now we have our total revenue. Our total revenue was this here minus 5x squared plus 9x is equal to price times quantity. Price times quantity. But we know our quantity is 0.92. Remember, we know our x is 0.92. So, but we can say price is equal to minus 5x squared plus 9x divided by x. So that we find P. The meaning P is equal to minus 5x plus 9 minus 5x plus 9. But x is equal to 0.92. Meaning our P itakuwa ni minus 5 0.92 plus 9. So the price that we should be charged is Kenya shillings Kenya shillings minus 5, 0.92 plus 9. Kenya shillings 4.4 per unit. So that is how we are supposed to do the question for the August 2025. Question number 5. Question number what? Question number 5B. This one was August 2025. Question number 5 board. Let's go to the next sitting. That is April. Let's go to April. So April 2025. The question is question number 1B. So April 2025. Question number 1B. A company sells a product and market research shows that the demand function for the product is linear. So linear meaning it only has 2 points. The price and quantity combination observed in the market is as follows. Have them there. The total cost function have been provided there. We're supposed to determine number 1, the demand function, the revenue function, profit function, the quantity that maximizes profit, and the breakpoint. And the breakpoint. So let us do it. Let us try that one. So we need to analyze that question before we start. So the first thing that we need to do is to analyze the question. So before we start, the bottom price has what? 50. Q is 200. Then if PQ are 30, Q is how much? 400. Then we have been given the total cost as 5,000 plus 10Q plus 0.05 Q squared. That's what we have been provided. So number 1 is supposed to determine the demand function. So let's start by coming up with the demand function. Now, remember, demand is a function of price. I'm so sorry. Yes. Demand is a function. So demand is our price in this case. So demand is the same as price. So demand is the same as price, which is a function of quantity. So demand is a function of price. Demand is the same as price, which is a function of quantity. So remember, when you talk about our demand function, so we have the quantity, we have the price. So our demand function is a linear function where P is an inverse of Q. So P is an inverse of Q. Now, we have been given the coordinates. Remember, guys, it's supposed to be X, Y. That's the format of coordinates. So in our case here, it is Q and P. That's how the coordinates looks like. So in reality, this is Y, this one is X. So the coordinates, if you write the coordinates down, it is X and Y. So meaning for P and Q, it will be Q and P. Let us start with the first one, 250. And the second one is 430. 430. Now, we can start with getting we need to come up with this equation. Y, if you are using X and Y is equal to A plus BX. If you are using this one. Now, if you are using the second one, it will be equal to P is equal to A plus BQ. So we need this equation here. P is equal to A plus BQ. And that one is price, which price means demand. So price is a function of Q. Now, we can solve it in two ways. The first one, we say when price is 50, the first one, when price is 50, we do not know A, plus we do not know B, but we know Q. Q is 200. Then we use also the second, so this one becomes the first equation. The second equation is this one. So when price is 30, we do not know A, we do not know B, but we know Q is 400. That will become the second equation. So we solve the equation using simultaneous equation. So this is like saying 50 equals to A plus 200 B. The other one is 30 equals to A plus 400 B. Find the value of A and B. Now, because A is common, we eliminate. We use elimination method. Since A is common, so A minus A is 0. So 50 minus 30 is 20. So A minus A is 0. And then 200 minus 400, which is minus 200 B. So we can find B. B will be equal to, divided upon 200, 20 is equal to minus 200 B. So B will be equal to 20 divided by minus 200. So 20 divided by answer minus 0.1. Now, let us find A. $50 is equals to, so I'm going to use the first equation, this one. You can use either A plus 200, our B is minus 0.1. So this one is equal to 50 equals to A minus 200 times 0.1 minus 20. Minus 20. So A is equal to 50 plus 20, which is 70. So meaning our demand function, this one, is our demand function. P is equal to A, which is 70. B is minus 0.1 Q. And what did I say? P has an inverse relation with the Q, meaning B minus must be negative. B must be negative. So P has an inverse relation with Q, and inverse, meaning it's minus. That means when the price increases, demand reduces. So it is inverse minus. Minus means there's an inverse relation. So that's number 8. Number boy, we are supposed to determine total revenue function. Now total revenue function. So total revenue function is equal to P times Q. So total revenue will be equal to price, which is 70, and 0.1 Q times Q. So our total revenue was 70 Q and 0.1 Q squared. Tumemaliza hiyo hivyo. So that is our total revenue function. Next one is the profit function. Now, profit function, that is number C, equals to total revenue minus total cost. So it will be equal to total revenue 70Q minus 0.1 Q squared minus our total cost here, 5,000 plus 10Q plus 0.05 Q squared. So what will be our profit? It was 70Q and 0.1 Q squared minus 5,000 minus 10Q minus 0.005 Q squared. So we correct the right terms. You can start with the squared. So minus 0.1 squared minus 0.05. 0.05 minus 0.15 Q squared. Then 70 minus 10. That will be plus 60Q minus 5,000. So we can see that our profit function is minus 0.15 squared plus 60Q minus 5,000. Number D, maximization output on profit. So that was the other requirement. You're supposed to determine the maximum output of the profit. So remember that you need to find the derivative of the profit function. The derivative of the profit function. So we say that change in profit or change in Q must give us 0. Now, let us change this profit to positive. So we multiply every side by the negative. It will be 0.15 q squared minus 6q, 60q plus 5,000. That one. So that will be our new profit. We multiply every side by negative. Let us find the change. Change in profit or change in q. We go to that was 0.15 times 2 is 0.3 q minus 60. So find the value which must be equal to 0. Let's find the value of q. So minus 0.3 q is equal to 60. Q equal to 60 well by answer. So 200 units. Then part D. Part D and our last part. With the breakpoint. With the breakpoint. At breakpoint, marginal cost equals to marginal revenue, or profit is equals to 0. Because we have the profit, I'm going to use the profit 0.15 q squared minus 60 q plus 5,000 is equals to 0. Now we need to find it. Use this formula: x minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now a is 0.15, b minus 60, then c 5,000. C is 5,000. So if I use that one, so let us do it. So we can say that x or q, you are using q in this case. Q will be equal to b is minus 60. Minus 60 times 1 minus 1 equals 60. Plus or minus 60 squared, which is like 600, minus 4 times a, which is 0.15 times 5,000 over 2a. Let us do it. So 4 times 0.15 times 5,000. Tupatia 3,000. So that's 600 minus answer. Tupatia 600. So square root of that 24. So q is equal to 60 plus or minus 24.49 divided by 2 times 0.15 is 0.3. So we shall have to q. The first one is 60 plus 24.49 divided by 0.3. So 2 is 1 unit, or 118.37 units. For break even, we will pick the smallest. So the smallest is 118.37 units. So you only produce 118.37 even. So that's how you're supposed to do that question. And that question was for April 2025. It was April or what? It was for April 2025, question number 1B. April 2025, number 1B. Let's go to another sitting. The next sitting is tumefanya. So it is December 2024. December 2024, question number 1B. December 2024, question number 1B. Let's try that one. December 2024, question number 1B. So December 2024. December 2024, question number 1B. December 2024, question number 1B. The company is considering a manufacturing of a product with the following item. We've been given the marginal revenue. Marginal revenue of how much? 50 minus 4Q. Our revenue, our function is in 1,000. We've also been given average cost is 5 minus 16 over Q. We'll be provided with those items. So marginal revenue in 1,000, 50 minus 4Q, then average cost 5 minus 16 over Q. We are required to formulate the profit function, then the quantity that maximizes profit, then maximum profit, then maximum profit. So let us start with the first one. The first one is profit function. Profit function. So profit is equal to total revenue minus total cost. Now, total revenue, we need to do what? Integrate marginal revenue. So for us to get total revenue, we integrate marginal revenue. So our total revenue will be equal to 50Q minus 4Q, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus C. So our total revenue equals to 50Q minus 4Q squared over 2 plus C. So our total revenue 50Q minus 2Q squared. C is always 0 for revenue. So for revenue, C most is 0. Kunanga story mingi hapo. So that one is fine. So you just add the item. So 50 50Q minus 4Q 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1. But remember, C is 0. So this one becomes our total revenue. Then we also need total cost. Total cost is equal to, in this case, I've been given average cost, equal to average cost times Q. So when you take the average cost, the model with the Q, you shall get the total cost. Remember, average cost equals to total cost over Q. So for you to get total cost, the average cost times Q, this one. So our total cost, the one is 5 minus 16 over Q times Q. We're supposed to use the small letter according to the equation. That format. The total cost, the one is 5Q minus 16. 5Q minus 16. So our profit, one is total revenue minus total cost, which is 50Q minus 2Q squared minus our total cost, yeah, 5Q minus 16. That will be equal to what? 50Q minus 2Q squared minus 5Q minus 16. We put the right them together, minus 2Q squared, 50 minus 5 minus plus 45, Q minus 16. Can I eliminate the negative? We're multiplying inside by negative. This will be 2Q minus 45Q plus 16. That is our profit. That's our profit function. Now we are supposed to go to number B, the quantity to be produced in order to maximize profit. That is number B. So maximum output from profit, from our profit. So that we know is change in profit, but change in quantity must be equal to 0. So in this case, change in profit over change in Q, we need to differentiate this one. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. So it will be 4 Q. This one will be minus 45. That will be the end. Then 16 is a constant, the Asia. Let's find the value of Q. Minus 4Q is equal to 45. Q. So the value to maximize that one will be equal to 45. 45 divided by 4, which is 11. We do 5 joules. And then we are supposed to calculate the maximum profit. Maximum profit, number 3, maximum profit. Use our profit function, which is 2Q squared minus 45Q plus 16. So our maximum profit upon the 2Q, our Q is 11.25 squared, and then 45, 11.25 plus 16. We shall get our maximum profit. What will be our maximum profit? 2 11.25 squared minus 45, 11.25 plus 16. So it's a maximum loss. A loss of how much? 237.125. That's how you are supposed to do that equation. So that is how you're supposed to do that equation. Let me look for another question of another sample. This title could be our last question. So let us look for the last question. Yes, that one. August 2024. August 2024, question number 1C. August 2024. Question is question number 1C. So August 2024. Question number 1C. So August 2024. Question number 1C. So August 2024. It will be August. Question number 1C. Now the total revenue function of a producing product G is in product nature. Now you know the product nature, or we did that one. So product nature. Then the following data shows the number of units of product G and its corresponding revenue in thousand. So we have sales revenue in the units. So when sales is 2325, units is 15. When sales is 2900, units is 20. Then when the sales is 750, the units is 30. We are supposed to come up with the revenue function, the revenue maximizing units, and then calculate total revenue when the number of units sold is 80. Now this one is quadratic function. You know what's a quadratic function? So you know what's a quadratic function. So in this case, our quadratic function is equal to a x squared plus bx plus c. B is equal to 0. Not 0 actually. That format. So we are supposed to do what? We are supposed to determine the revenue from this function. So how do we determine it? So we need to come up with 3 equations. We need to come up with 3 equations that will help us to solve that question. I think that is the only way. We need to come up with just an equation. Then we solve it using simultaneous equation. So let's start with the first one. So when the cells are 23, 25, what will be the value? A, we do not know A, but we know X is 15. So 15 squared is 225. 225A plus B, we do not know B, but we know X is 15. 15B plus C. That becomes our first equation. We go to the next one. When cells is 2900, we know that 20 is our X, our unit. So we do not know A, but X is 20, that 20 squared is 400 plus B is we don't know B, but we know X is 20. So 20B plus C. Then when the set is at 750, we do not know A, but we know X is 30. That times 30 and 100A. So 30 times 30. We do not know B, but we know X is 30. So 30B plus C. So we need to find the value of A, B, and C. We need to find the value of A, B, and C. Now we need to equate equation 1 and 2, and 2 and 3. So we need to equate equation 1 and 2, and 2 and 3. So how do we get them? Let us start with the equate equation 1 and 2. So 23, 25 is equals to 2 to 5A plus 15B plus C. Then 29 to 0 equals to 400A plus 20B plus C. Let us eliminate. We eliminate. So it equals 23, 25 minus 2900. Minus 575 is equals to 2 to 5 minus 400 minus 175A plus 15 minus 20 minus 5. Then C minus 6 is 0. This one is B. Now this equation will be the fourth equation. So you can say we remit the negative sign. It will be 175A plus 5B equals to 575. So you multiply by the negative so that we have equation number 4. Then we equate equation 2 and 3. 2 and 3. So equation 2 is 2900 is equals to 400A plus 20B plus C. The next one is 750 is equals to 900A plus 30B plus C. So 2900 minus 3750 minus 850 equals to 400 minus 900 is minus 500 A 20 minus 30 minus 10B. C in Aisha. Let us remove the negative sign. The one is 500 A multiplied by negative 10B equals to 850. This one becomes equation number 5. Let us solve. equation number 4 and 5. So we solve it on this side. Itakuwa ni 175a plus 5b is equals to 575. Then 500a plus 10b is equals to 850. Now, in this case, we need to have the right terms so that we can eliminate. So we multiply, we make these two items the same. So 5b, we change it to 10b. So how do we change it? We multiply by 2. And this side we multiply by 1. So that the b becomes 10. So 175 times 2. So that will go to 350a plus 10b is equals to 575 times 2. This is 1150. The other one remains the same, 500a plus 10b is equal to 850. Now we can eliminate. So we eliminate b. So 350 minus 500. That is minus 150. 10 minus 10 is 0. So 1150 minus 850. That will be equal to, this one is a, equals to 300. So a, itakuwa ni 300 divided by minus 150, which is minus 2. So tumepata the first item. Now, using our equation, either this or this, we find the value of b. So either this or this. So tunatumia ya kwanza 175a plus, so a, we know a is minus 2 plus 5b equals to 575. So 175 times minus 2, equal minus 350 plus 5b equal to 575. 5b will be equal to what? It will 575 plus 350. That is 925. So b will be 925 over 5. B is 185. Then we need to find the c. C, we use either of these three equations. Find c. So we use the first one. 23, 25 is equals to 225a. 225a, our a is minus 2. B, so 15b. So 15, but our b is 185 plus c. So 23, 25, 225 times 2 minus 2. That is minus 450 plus 15 times 185. 15 times 185, 775. 75 plus c. What will be the value of c? C will be equal to 23, 25 plus 450 minus 27, 75. What will be the value of c? 23, 25 plus 450 minus 27, 75. C is 0. So meaning our total revenue, so part A, our total revenue will be equal to A, which is minus 2x squared. So tunaiweka kwa hii format. 2, and remember we said C is 0. So remember, even from our previous, when we were talking about revenue, hakunanga C. We need to know that. So 2, so A is minus 2. So X is minus, so A is minus 2. A is minus 2, X squared. So minus 2X squared. Then BX, 185, so plus 185X, then plus C is 0. That's our revenue. Minus 2X squared plus 185X. Number B, we are supposed to come up with the maximum revenue. The maximum revenue. The maximum revenue, that is easy. So what you see, I don't know if it is visible from that end. I'll move it that way. So part B, maximum revenue units. So you say change in total revenue over change in Q must be equal to 0. Now our Q is X, of X. So we have it here. So change in total revenue by change in X is equal to, so 2 minus 2 times 2 minus 4, so it will be minus 4X. Minus 4X plus 185 must be equal to 0. To find the value of X, that will be the maximum output. So minus 4X equal to 185 minus 185. X upon 185 over 4. So what will be the answer? 185 divided by 4. So 46.25 units. Tumezana hiyo hivyo. The next item, total revenue. If units is 80, total revenue. So total number C, total revenue, if units is 80. So we have our revenue here. So our total revenue is minus 2X squared plus 185X. So if X is 80, minus 2, 180 squared plus 185 times 80. Amesema 80. So what will be that? So minus 2 times 80 squared plus 185 times 80. The total revenue is 2,000. Revenue is 2,000. So that marks the end of this class of functions. That marks the end of this class of functions. So next time we meet, we shall do questions for other topics. But the function now is fine. So April 2024, there was no question. You can try question number 2A. April 2024, number 2A. April 2024, question number 2A. That one is application of function. You also have another one there. Question number 4C.
Number 4, C. And then there's another one there. December 2023, 1B, 1C. And then those are enough. You can check the rest from the past paper. The past paper asks a lot of questions. That is the end of this class today.